So this lesson is all about factors with distributed property. And what a factor is basically is how many ways can you create even groups based on a number that's given to you. So, for example, if you have 15 footballs and 12 basketballs, what's the most amount of each type of ball you can put into a group evenly? And so what you have to ask yourself then is, what's the biggest number that you can divide both of those amounts by? Well, if you look at 12, you can divide it by 1, which doesn't give us much, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So the numbers that you can divide this one by are 2, 3, 4, and 6. 15 can be divisible by 3, 5, and 15. Well, you can also include 1 because you need 1 times 15, and you can also do 1 and 12 for here. But out of these, what number is the biggest that they both have in common? And that answer, of course, is 3. If you go 5, there is no 5 and there is no 15. 4, 6, and 12 don't exist there. So the biggest number that you can divide both of these is by 3. So you can make 3 groups. And if you divide each of these by 3, so let's rewrite this as what you would normally see it as. We'll do 15F plus 12B. This is how a problem will normally be written, and they ask you to factor it. So we can divide both of these by 3. And so what it gives us then is that gives you 15 divided by 3 is 5 footballs, plus 12 divided by 3 is 4 basketballs. So each group that you're going to get has 5 footballs and 4 basketballs, and you're going to have 3 of those groups. So whatever number you divide by, both of them evenly, goes on the outside, and whatever's left over goes on the inside of the parentheses. And that's basically how factoring works. So let's look at a few more examples. Here we have 2 numbers. We have 30 and 15. So you have to ask yourself, what number can you divide both of those by? Well, you always start with the smallest number. And if you have 15, that can be divisible by 1, 3, 5, and 15. So does 1 go into 30? Yes. So because of that, we really just skip over 1 because it doesn't really do us any good. If 1 is the only number that you can divide something by, it doesn't really help you factor. So the next number, 3. Does 3 go into both of those? Yes. Does 5 go into 30? Yes. Does 15 go into 30? Yes. So the biggest number that you can divide both of them by is 15. So we're going to divide both of these by 15. And then you ask yourself, what do you have left over? So 30 divided by 15 is 2h. 15 divided by 15 is 1. Then we have to take our plus sign and bring it straight down, put parentheses around it, and then what number do we write on the outside? And that number is, dun 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 dun, 15. So our final answer is 15 times 2h plus 1, parentheses. And so that would be our answer. Next up, what happens if you have a minus sign instead of a plus sign? So first thing you have to ask yourself is what number can go into both of those nice and even? And of course, that answer would be 40. So this gives us then 40 divided by 40 gives us 1r. 80 divided by 40 gives us 2s. Then what number do we have in the middle? A minus sign. So we bring the minus sign right down. And then we add parentheses. And what number did we divide by? 40. So what number goes on the outside? 40. And so our final answer is 40 times 1r minus 2s. And what happens if you have 3 numbers? You still have to ask yourself the same thing. First, what is our smallest number? 9. So the factors of 9 are 1 and 9, and of course 3 times 3. Now out of these 3 numbers, 1, 3, and 9, we ignore the 1 because it never really helps us, and we have to ask ourselves 3 or 9. Does 3 go into 9? Yes. Does 9 go into 9? Yes. Now, Do these both go into 18? 3 goes into 18, 9 goes into 18. So far, we can use either one of these numbers. Now, the next one is 24. Does 3 go into 24? Yes. Does 9 go into 24? No. So the number that's going to be divisible by all of them is 3, because if you have 18, you basically have 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. And then 24, what goes into 24? Well, you can do 2, you can do 3, you can do 4 and 6, we could do 8, and we can do 12. So here are our three numbers, here are our factors, and the biggest number that they all have in common is 3, 3, and 3. So these two have 9, but this one does not. These two have 2, but that's not the biggest one. They also both have 6 here, but 6 is not part of that one. So the biggest number that they both have, all three have in common is 3, which means you're going to come over here and divide all 3 of these by 3, and then reduce each one. So 9 divided by 3 is 3j. Then we bring down the plus sign. 18 divided by 3 is 6k. Bring down the minus sign. 24 divided by 3 is 8m. Put it all in parentheses, and then we take this number and put it right on the outside. And so that gives us 3 times, parentheses, 3j plus 6k minus 8m. And that will be the lesson for the day. If you have any questions while we watch the video, you could also contact me during office hours on Monday and Friday, 1 to 3 through Zoom, or send me an email and I'll try and respond that way. But when it comes to math, sometimes it's a lot more if I talk about it and show you at the same time. So please take advantage of office hours, and any questions you have on the math, either this lesson or other lessons, Zoom into me. You can find that at bit.ly/RSMS lowercase benn. That has the office hours on it. That also has links to and Google Classroom passwords that you might need to help do everything as well. Thanks, and have a nice day.